What's up, guys? We're back on the Danglers podcast. We have LFP, Dirty Mike, and special guests Jordan, McCaleb, and Brady Harp.
Surprised you remember how to do that, Carson.
It has been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's good to have you guys back. It's kind of weird walking into Logan's house without Logan.
I guess so.
I guess that would be pretty strange.
So today we got Brady Harp, Jordan McCaleb. They're fresh off a good finish at Lake Hartwell.
Decent.
What's on your mind?
Feels good to be going to the Natty. That's always great.
Will you turn it down this time? Will you turn down your natty
Invitation.
Well, I turn it down.
You better not.
No. we are locked in, confirmed to the Natty.
A little bit of backstory on that. Brady and Jordan qualified for the national championship at Smith Lake 2 years ago.
Yes.
And they didn't find out until, I guess,
It's like the week
a month.
before.
I thought you guys
No, it
qualified
was like
because
a
of
month.
points.
It was a month before.
Yeah, we
Definitely
qualified
not.
for points.
It was
like a
Yeah.
late qualification.
Qualified through
So-
points or something.
Yeah,
It was a
people
work
dropped
down. It
out.
was a
Yeah,
work
they
down.
worked down the list.
And they got invited, and Brady said, "No, I'm too good. I'm not coming out. I want to give
Pretty-
Thanks, but
everyone
no
else a
thanks.
chance."
I gotta.
Pretty much exactly how it went down. Like I turned down the Natty. And it's kind of a big flex. So there you go.
It is a
It's
big flex.
So this means
Probably
nothing
the only
more.
person to ever do that.
Probably,
honestly.
actually, yeah.
Besides the people above him on the list that
Yeah.
turned it
That
down.
did turn it down.
Cole Bradshaw and Peyton McCord also turned it down.
Exactly.
They were in the boat ahead of us.
They were the
on
reason
work
that
down.
we actually qualified.
2 Auburn boats both turned down the Natty.
That's right.
Unreal.
So you guys, fresh off Lake Hartwell, tell us a little bit of what you had going into it, what you thought was going to happen, and what ended up happening.
We want the juicy deets.
Sure. Practice sucked. It was a really bad practice.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
We caught 5 fish in 2 days.
Yeah, we did.
Total across 2 days.
We ran a lot of different stuff. Ran some spotted bass stuff. Ran some muddy water largemouth stuff. None of it really panned out. But on the last day of practice, we started fishing a ditch, and Jordan caught 2 spots like back to back, in like 2 minutes or whatever.
A couple
So
2.5 pounders.
yeah, they're decent spots, but we left the area. Left them biting. Figured we'd head there in the morning, but those herring fish, kind of unpredictable, and they were not there in the morning.
We also ran about 12 other ditches after we found that one and couldn't get a bite in any of them, so we just decided we were going to go there first day of the tournament.
And when that didn't work out,
There just so happened to be a laydown right next to this ditch that we were fishing, and so after they weren't there on the morning of the first day, we decided we were going to fish that laydown, and Brady made 1 cast and caught a 3-pounder with a spinnerbait. So
Was there just one laydown? You're just like,
Yeah, it was-
that laydown.
It really
I'm
wasn't a
after
laydown.
you.
It was
Yeah.
like kind of like a shallow brush pile. It was like they cut the top out of a pine tree and just
Yeah.
dropped it in between some docks.
it was
Okay.
it was
But it was shallow.
So y'all were just like fishing the ditch, and you're like, well, screw this ditch. Let's
Yeah.
fish that.
well, yeah,
Well, it was like right by where, like literally, we had to troll like 10 yards to
yeah,
get
it was
to it.
it was right in between 2 docks, and like most of the laydowns we ended up catching a lot of fish on were like right off the bank, like no docks or anything. But this one was weird. It was just like a tree sticking out of the water in between 2 docks and like 7 foot of water, which was probably some of the deepest water we caught fish out of. It was right by where like the ditch was, so I just made a cast with a spinner. I saw in practice, made a cast with the spinnerbait, and what's it called? Caught a 3.5, and from there we
Was it 3 or 3.5?
probably 3.5.
I don't
Getting
know.
mixed signals over
It's on
here.
the-
It was
I'm hearing one
it
thing
was
from
at
one person.
least 3 pounds.
Yeah, it was at least 3.
Okay.
So then we started running.
It was a largemouth?
Is a largemouth. So we only caught 1 spot in the 2 days of the tournament, weighed in all heads.
Gotta
So
love
we-
that.
Yeah, it was great. So we started running trees. Ended up figuring out only certain trees would have fish. So majority of that lake, or at least the part of the Tuggaloo River that we were in, a lot of red clay. Red clay was everywhere. But the only trees we could get bit on had sand. Like the bank changed from like clay to sand for like 20 yards or so, and those trees had fish. They were near deep water, but they were in like, majority of the fish we caught were in like less than 5 foot of water. I think those not spots, but the heads were coming up out of their winter haunts.
Oh,
And,
cringe.
Yeah, and
You guys hammered on them.
yeah, we
Straight
hammered
from the
on 'em,
hammer's
yeah.
mouth.
And we were just, how many trees we fished in 2 days?
at least 125 trees in 2 days.
Yeah, and we
Very
only-
specific.
yeah, at least.
Did y'all ever go back to the same tree and catch a fish out of it again?
Yeah, there were
Day 2.
Day 2. So first thing in the morning, we started on that ditch day 2 just to see if there were any bonus fish we could catch. There was not, but we rolled by that tree where I caught the spinnerbait fish, and like first cast at it again, I caught a 5.5.
Heck yeah.
Spinnerbait again.
Spinnerbait again. So
There was also like a set of like 3 trees that were right on the main lake, right next to like a pinch point where the 85 bridge goes across the Tugaloo. And we went back to those trees probably 5 or 6 times between the 2 days and had at least a bite out of those trees every time we went back to them.
yeah.
I actually had a 4-pounder try to eat my jig off the top of the water. I was reeling it in. It's kind of unfortunate after the tournament, knowing how close we were to winning, but
Yeah.
So, about how many bites did you guys get a day running this deal?
Day one, we probably got 10, 11 bites. Day 2, I think we only had
6 bites.
We had 6 bites day 2. So there were not a lot of fish to be had doing this, but they were the right kind, and I just don't think there were a lot of guys like keying in on like the sand like we were, so we had a lot of that to ourselves. But told one of our teammates about it because it was late in the day and we ran into him. We were like, hey, go check this out. Like if you want to, you're more than welcome to. He ended up, I think he caught a 4.5 doing it. So it's just stuff that we hadn't fished that he ran farther up the river and checked it out, and there were fish to be had on it. So I think there was something to it. But we stayed in a 2-3 mile radius the whole 2 days.
Yeah, we literally probably fished like a 2-mile section of the Tugaloo below the 85 bridge. We actually tried a little bit above the 85 bridge, and there were more laydowns above the 85 bridge, but it looked like somebody had gone through and cut a bunch of trees and like purposely made laydowns, and there were just too many to fish. Whereas like on the other side of the bridge, they were a lot more sparse, and I feel like that's why they got up in those better because there weren't as many to pick from.
I don't know if you guys also like watched the Elite Series event that Brandon Cobb won out there a couple years ago on Hartwell, and he was bed fishing. It seemed like a lot of the guys that were keying in on bedfish were fishing like sandy areas. So it sounds a lot like those largemouth out there were pulling up, like
that's what
staging on those trees, and they were coming to y'all. So y'all had them, y'all were catching them as they were coming to you.
After the first day, that's what we kind of decided was that we felt like those largemouth were pulling up and staging in those trees to eventually pull over to the sand and spawn. So day 2, we decided that we were just going to stick with the plan, and we literally did the exact same thing we did day 1. Went and fished that ditch, weren't there, and then went over that tree. Brady caught a 5.5, and then just went and ran trees the rest of the day. But like Brady said, it was literally just the trees that were right next to the sand. If it was just clay, because the first day we didn't figure that out until after we had fished probably 15 to 20 trees, and we realized that we were only getting bit in the ones that were by sand, so we just kind of keyed in on that and ran with it.
Yeah, we were worried heading into day 2 because, it got a lot colder heading into day 2, which is usually not great for a largemouth bite because they just react a lot worse to the cold than the spots do. And, our bites got cut in half, but, thankfully they still were the right ones in there, and we had to run a lot more water. I felt like we ran around a lot more on day 2, just trying to find productive water. But yeah, we had 6 bites and they were the right ones.
Another thing I think was weird about the tournament, which was the opposite of what we thought would happen, is that our bite got progressively worse throughout the day. Like both days, we had all of our keeper fish, with the exception of one fish on day 1, before 10:30. Which we thought the sun coming out would help our bite, but apparently it did not.
Yeah, day 1 we got to fish till 5. We were doing at 5, and
That's a long day.
Dude, that 5 hours after 12, only catching one fish was rough.
yeah,
It helped having a 6-7 in the box.
yeah,
But
we had probably like right around 15 and a half, around like 11:30 on day 1, and then cold once at the end of the day to get us to 16 and a half at probably 4 o'clock. So it was, not a lot of bites to be had, especially after 10:30, 11. I have no idea why, but it just wasn't as productive for us.
funny story about day 2, Brady stole one of my fish.
Yeah, I did.
Expound on that.
That's the most Jordan
about
thing
that.
I've ever heard.
Is this about the tree that you didn't want to fish?
That Brady didn't want to fish.
Yeah,
and
Brady didn't want to fish?
I wanted to fish it. Brady was ready to leave, and I was like, no, I want to fish that tree. And so I was retying my jig because I had just gotten home. Brady made one cast and caught one over 4.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't need that fish to make the natty, but that was our last bite of the day. So without that fish, we wouldn't have had a top 5. We'd have probably been like 13th or something like that.
Yeah, that was definitely sweet because you guys completely figured it out during the tournament and not something that you stumbled across in practice.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
It was definitely interesting. Like, I feel like that doesn't happen a lot of times because I feel like if you find something in practice, like we could have easily not fished that tree right by the ditch. We could have just ran ditches all day and not caught anything like we did the day before in practice. But luckily, we decided to make the change and ended up working out.
It's definitely difficult to just completely, change what you're doing, your game plan during the tournament. But if you look at like some of the best anglers that are doing the best out there right now, like that seems to be the strategy that a lot of the best pros are using. Is like it doesn't matter even like if you caught 27 pounds the day before, if the conditions are different, if like your bite's not working out, like you can't just try and like make it work.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
you need to go and just treat your day 1 and day 2 as just another days of practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I was talking to Mike, Rick Harris.
Yeah.
Out at Amistad. I was talking to him, just texting him the night before the tournament. He was asking how we were doing. I said, to be honest with you, we're not on much. Like I don't really know how tomorrow's gonna go. He just texted me, he said, just go fishing tomorrow. Just go figure something out. Go practice. And that's kind of what we did. It kind of worked out. So shout out to Rick.
Is there anything you would have done differently looking back, or are you pretty happy with the way things went?
I mean,
I think I would have dropped my jig in front of that 4-pounder a second earlier.
Yeah, probably. Because if he would have caught that, genuinely, like we would have been right up there.
How much did y'all lose or not win by?
2 pounds.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Would that have been a 2-pound cull?
So we were in 5th with 33-1.
Mm-hmm.
Second place or tied for 3rd and 4th was 33-4, and then second was 33-5. So we would have easily made it to second.
Mm-hmm.
To say whether we would have won or not, because I think first was 35-2 or somewhere around there.
35-13, I think.
Oh, well.
I needed like 2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So it would have been close.
It would have been real close.
I think, yeah, because we had like a 2-pounder on day 1 that we weighed in. So, I mean, it definitely would have been close. We would have.
Day 2, y'all had like a small one, right?
Oh, we had a really small one day 2. We had one that wasn't even 1.5 pounds.
So literally like 1 bite away.
Yeah, we were, it's not often you can be like, I was 1 bite away from winning one of these, like, big national events, but like
with the kind of bites we were getting, day 2 we were definitely 1 bite away from winning. Like
1 6-pounder, y'all would have blown it out.
Oh, literally,
easily.
It's like
you mean one more?
One more 6-pounder.
Yeah, one more 6-pounder.
the bet I think
I did win big fish.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell us the story of the big fish of the tournament.
So
tell us why it was so important to you, because you're typically viewed as the net man.
I am typically viewed as the net man. It was a one tournament that we ended up winning. Brady caught all the fish on some stupid bait that I didn't have.
That was a stupid bait.
Like you follow?
Yeah.
Like you follow.
Yeah.
So that's where the net man name came from.
Jordan Netman McCaleb.
That is I. No longer.
No longer.
No longer.
Yeah.
Day 1, after we decided we were gonna run trees, we pulled up into this pocket off the main lake, and there was a pine tree in the water that it was still green. It didn't look like it had been there very long.
All the trees were dead, except this was like one of 2 we found that were like actually alive still.
And it was really thick, and Brady. I'm fishing out the back of the boat, and because Brady backboats me a lot.
Brady doesn't share the front deck on that big old Phoenix.
We do sometimes, but I always get scared he's gonna hit me.
I offer. He just for back deck Jordan.
Back deck Jordan. That's what it is.
BDJ.
Hey, if I catch a 6-7 every time on the back deck, I'll take it.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Can't complain about that.
So Brady had pitched it a couple times, and there was just like this one little hole, like right in the middle of the thick of the tree, and I just pitched in there. I was like, "That's where she's gonna be." You can ask Brady. I literally said that as I pitched the jig in there, and I dropped it down, and I felt a bite, and so I set the hook. And when I set the hook, it was immediately hung. So I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a bite, and so I just like kept pressure on it, and we trolled up to it, and I just like easily gave it a little bit of line, and it popped itself free, and it was digging like by the tree, and it came up, and we saw it, and I was like, Brady, that's like a 5, it's a giant, and it came up to the boat, and Brady went to net it, and it dug down under the boat, so I gave it some line, and it finally came back up, and got it in the net, and dropped it in the bottom of the boat, and I was like, it's like a 6.
Okay.
So
The best part about the tournament, I think, was being on stage day 2 when he still had big fish. And I was weighing in, like, it ended up being, like, a little over 5.5. And I was like, we're going to weigh one for big fish. Hank's like, all right. He's like, I don't think it'll beat the 6.7. I was like, we have the 6.7. What are you doing then?
What a
I
flex.
caught that one yesterday.
Yeah. Hank
That's a
was
big
like,
flex.
I mean, I'll weigh it, I guess. But, yeah, Hank
That's
was like
sweet.
that.
Hank will make you feel stupid sometimes.
Oh, yeah, he will.
I don't know if that's funnier than the spot that you guys weighed in, though. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
well,
Hank
was downplaying
he was throwing
that-
shade at
That
us,
6
man.
pound spot.
I saw the video when you
Yeah.
posted on your TikTok. He's like, I mean,
I don't think it's not even going to be close, but I mean, we'll weigh it. He's like the spot.
I guess
513.
It was
and
2 ounces.
Yeah, 2 ounces less than the 515 that was currently big fish.
that's pretty good for a spot. But
Yeah, that's all right, man. That's
Like-
a spot, guys.
Also-
Lake record, no big deal.
People were talking mad trash on your TikTok about that.
TikTok
fish,
was
too.
popping
TikTok's
off.
full of haters,
I
man.
swear. Nobody thought that fish was that big.
Nobody understood the difference between a lake record and like a state record.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, I've caught a 6.5, make that thing look like a baby.
And then
Like,
that one guy
cool,
thought you
bro.
said
Was
you
it
were,
on Hartwell?
that one guy said that he thought you were on Lanier, the guy that was talking the most
Yeah.
trash.
And then he deleted all his comments
Yeah.
because everyone was just hating on him.
Because you posted that reply video with like you weighing it in, he was like, oh my bad, I thought you said you were on Lanier.
yeah, you and Tucker had another top 10 finish, which is sweet. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more in the next segment when the man himself will come on. But
When we
for
kick
now,
these fools out.
Tuck the Smith.
Tuck
coming
the
up
Smith
next.
is coming up next, so stay tuned. And
We'd also like to point out that this is our St. Patty's Day episode.
yes, this
and
is our St. Patty's Day.
Everyone wore green but Brady. So we got to pinch him.
Next
Yes, he
thing
did
you
get
Logan.
the memo.
It's really warm in here. What's up with the jacket?
Oh, the jacket. So why am I wearing this jacket, you may ask?
That's what I asked.
It's pretty rainy outside. But besides the rain, we're giving away 2 jackets and bibs. Frogg Toggs helping us, supporting the podcast, supporting what we do. We really appreciate everybody over at Frogg Toggs, and
Yep.
we want to give our followers a chance to win the suits that keep us dry every tournament. So all you got to do to win these suits is subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment on this video.
Yeah, guys, you really need to do that, and
What should they comment?
just comment anything, man.
Yeah,
Honestly, like
Suggestions for next episode?
as long as we get a comment,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a random draw. So
They need to comment the weight of my fish so that we know that they watched the video.
Yeah.
They need to comment the weight of the big fish.
I mean,
that
you
caught.
could.
I said
you
it
could-
like 4
Oh, no.
times.
You could just comment the weight of the biggest fish you've ever caught.
or
just-
that too.
just comment something on the YouTube series, and then we'll put you in.
Comment Jordan's new nickname. He's not Netman anymore.
Back
Backdeck
Deck
Jordan.
Back deck, Jordan.
Big Fish Jordan.
Like the
works,
video,
too. Yeah.
subscribe,
I'm down for a new
and
nickname.
comment. That's the 3 criteria.
Yeah, and we will be checking this time. Like this is the cool thing about this. Frogg Toggs has teamed up with us, and then also they gave us this year a Real Tree pattern on there, which is sweet because Real Tree also supports us this year, and they've supported us in the past, and they're a great company to work with. So, yeah, just comment. I mean, this is a great suit. The jacket and the bibs are like $280 each. So like, you win this, and it's like a $560, $600 combo that you're getting just from liking and commenting on subscribing to a YouTube channel. So, you guys do that. There's nothing to lose.
And be sure to stay tuned for the YouTube series.
Exactly.
We got
That's
yes.
episode 1 dropping Sunday.
We got some smoke coming.
Yeah.
yeah. Next Sunday, 3-21. So I guess this will be out after that. But
Okay, so the producer is telling us we're announcing the winners, because there's 2 winners in 2 weeks. So
2 and 2.
congrats on 5th place finish. You know, how does it feel to be qualified for the national championship after the first event?
It's a huge relief because
You gonna fish the other one still, or
That's the plan.
yeah, what's the goal for the rest of the season? Team of the year?
AOY.
I mean, well, right
Oh,
now,
well, no, we're not going to win Team of the Year because Brady's skipping out on the Northern Swing. So
Brady will be working a camp with Rick Harris at Amistad.
Brady's
so.
not going to let you borrow the old bird.
no.
Well, they won't count the points if it's not the same two people, so it wouldn't matter.
What if
It
you
won't
get,
be the same.
what if you get COVID the night before?
He has to
or
fish
he
by
could-
himself.
Well, I hope Hank doesn't watch this.
But you're taking your boat to Texas.
Well,
There's no way Hank's watching this. I am taking the boat to Texas.
I could use your dad's if you'd like.
Hank, if you're watching
Brett would
this,
so
comment.
let you.
Brett honestly does not care at all.
We
Mr.
I
Brett
love you,
is
Dad.
legit. Mr. Brett Harp is also, check him out, Cornerstone Drywall. He's
Yes.
supported the team for the past couple
Huge
years.
supporter.
Huge
Ti-
support.
ti- title sponsor.
Title
Yeah, no, he's sweet and awesome.
Boat
guy.
wrap sponsors.
Boat
Boat
wrap
wrap sponsor, title
Team
sponsor.
Cornerstone. You and me.
This is your cornerstone.
He's an awesome guy. So if you get the chance to work with him, just jump on that.
I'm flattered, man.
I mean, unfortunately he's nothing like his son.
You
Shelby's
mean fortunately.
Shelby's the man.
Shelby's the real man.
Shelby's the man.
He's the man of the house. But yeah, thanks guys for coming on. Thanks for talking about it, letting out a few secrets. If you're at Lake Hartwell, hopefully this pattern's still there and you can do it. But maybe
Probably
not.
not now.
Yeah, hopefully not now for these two. But
Yeah, they'll be back on that stuff in a few weeks, going back out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys gave
Probably
you
spawning
guys
right
gave
now.
they gave a lot away this week, and that's more than we asked for. So I appreciate it.
More secrets to tell.
All right, get out. You're done.
We'll see you next time you get another top five.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be a while
Hey,
probably.
it's gonna be a minute.
I'm just kidding.
Might be Smith Lake. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, Smith Lake
I hope.
last year.
I mean,
Jordan.
didn't you catch a giant spot at Smith Lake?
2
Yeah,
years ago.
2 years
It
ago.
was actually a couple days ago. 2 years
Just a little
ago.
bit bigger
Yeah.
than Tucker's spot.
Yeah, it was. It weighed 588, I think. So almost a 6-pound spot.
Cool
I thought it
stud.
was right at. I thought it was.
It
I thought
it might have been
6.
right at 6.
Was that on the Catch Commander?
So no, that was on the Rapala.
It was on the digital.
Is it
Rapala.
Rapala or Rapala? That's the real
Rapala.
question.
That's a real question.
That's a
If,
hot
I think
topic.
if you're from
Speak
like
to us. Let
above
us know.
the southeastern area, it's Rapala. Like if you're below, like if you're from the south, it's Rapala.
It's a soft A, much like Patala Creek, not Patula.
That's
Wait,
definitely
is it?
Petula
But
Creek.
No, it's
I
Patala.
thought it was Petula.
It's Patala.
I've always called it Petula.
It's
Right.
actually like
You guys need to get out of
AULA.
here.
It's on me, man.
You guys gotta go.
Look at the spelling and tell
Yeah.
me it's Patula.
I mean, I
Honestly, I've never paid
I always
attention to
say-
spelling.
Never.
I just know it as Petula.
that's what I've known it as, and then recently I've looked at it and I'm like, it's not, but it's definitely Patala, and
I used-
everyone from down there calls it Patala.
How do you pronounce Waxahachie?
I call it Waxahachie, but people
Wax-
call it Waxahachie.
Waxahachie.
Yeah, or
No
like
way, dude.
Waxahachie.
Walks.
Yeah, most people call it Waxahachie.
Waxahachie.
That's what I call it.
Where's
Waxahachie got
Waxahachie?
some giants.
Like,
Waxahachie is on Lay Lake. You should know that. You've been at Lay Lake, Mr. 420 spot.
I fish Paint Creek, okay?
You passed it.
everybody fishes Paint Creek.
Man's got him.
No.
Waxahachie does. too.
Except I did not fish Paint Creek this weekend.
Unfortunately, none of our
Paint.
teammates
It
won that
used to be the juice, but it's community hole now. In my
one. It's
opinion.
been a community hole for a while.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
always been a community hole as long as I've fished it.
Dude,
I don't know.
Lay
I
Lake
feel like
is
that's
just
the only
ridiculous.
creek I ever hear people talking about on Lays.
That's true.
Dude, Lay Lake's just
Anytime you hear
gotten
somebody
ridiculous.
talk about Lay, they mention Paint Creek in some way.
It is not a big lake for the amount of boats that go out there.
No, especially not this weekend with 3 tournaments this past weekend.
It's ridiculous.
I
You
really-
really
Actually,
can't
I
fish
really
it.
like
there was
that
a
lake,
Fishers of
though.
Men too.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's ridiculous. But anyways, next segment.
Carson is ready to go.
Appreciate you guys coming on for real
Yeah,
though.
thanks.
Congrats on your finish.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
So, yeah. That sound plays every time Tucker walks into a room. But
He's a pixie.
I can't really hear this sound because I don't have earphones on.
headphones. It's a podcast.
It's just
But we are proud to welcome Tuck the Smith to the Danglers podcast.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get rid of Jordan, but
Sorry, guys.
but we got Tucker the Bass Plucker.
Thank y'all for having me.
So,
What's up, dude?
What's up?
We've got 2 top 10 finishers sitting right next to each other. And
We've got 2 of the greatest high school fishermen to ever step foot on this earth.
Jordan was
One's significantly less than the other.
Yeah, I
Surprised.
know. Tucker just really just never did.
well, you're a
anything else.
two-time winner.
Yeah, Tucker's almost as good as Jordan in high school.
No, it's the other way. I wouldn't even say I'm almost as good as Tucker.
Tucker got carried, and
Yeah, I
We
got
all know
carried and
that.
got lucky.
so Tucker, tell us about Lake Hartwell and Logan. Tell us about Lake Hartwell.
It was a good tournament. We had a pretty good practice, and we didn't really catch them exactly the way that we wanted to the first couple days of practice, and we kind of figured something out the end of practice that ended up being our starting stuff, kind of spotted bass stuff. We fished super deep water, and we ended
What's
up
super deep?
like 40 to 50 foot.
Okay.
Really, really deep.
Yeah,
Deepest
really.
I've ever caught a fish.
Yeah, that's the
Really?
deepest
A
I've ever caught
bass.
a bass, really.
Yeah. You reel them up, they look like balloons.
Yeah.
You need that.
a lot bigger
You need
than
one of those electric reels you caught that grouper on.
How far were they
You would
suspended?
for
on?
sure.
No, they
have to
weren't
fizz 'em
suspended.
in.
They were on the bottom.
They were literally on the bottom,
They were
like
glued on
in
the bottom.
50 foot of water.
They had mud on their on
Yeah.
their bellies.
That's
Really?
sweet.
It's insane.
That's sweet.
They actually like literally had clay on their bellies.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
What do you think
Yeah.
they were doing down there, that far on the bottom, not suspended?
I don't know, chilling.
Weird.
They were chilling, waiting for some herring.
They were just at rock bottom.
They were what you would say ditch pickles.
They were in the haunts.
They were definitely in their wintertime haunts.
They were in the haunts.
They were on those deep haunts.
Okay, we've said haunt too many times tonight.
Yeah. Don't know what we just talked about, but it could not be in the podcast.
We're back. You'll never know.
Yeah, so Tucker and Logan, they got a top 10. What was it, 8th place?
8th place.
8th place. And
Not too shabby. Not,
not
what
too
we wanted, but I'll take it.
Something about the Auburn team, we don't shoot for qualifying, we shoot for winning.
That's
Especially
right.
these two.
It was a good
Fish
first
to win.
bass tournament.
It's just how we were raised.
Yeah, we kind of figure if you fish to win and you come up short, you get a top 10. But if you're shooting for a top 50, you come up short, you do terrible. So
Yeah.
Then your standings look like mine.
I would say that we caught them, like, I don't know, like, I feel like the way we were practicing, I felt like we were going to catch them in the afternoon good. Like,
Yeah.
big largemouth. Because that's how it was in practice. And so, like, we had, Brandon there filming for the reclamation series, and he wanted to follow us on day one since we hadn't had the camera boat yet. But we were like, well, why don't you start on, Chase and Blake since they have school and fish? Thinking that it would be cool to get, like, blow-ups and stuff on camera. We pull up on our spot bass stuff. I mean, I don't know what you thought, but I thought we'd catch maybe, like, 11, 12 pounds and go fish for
I
largemouth.
didn't think it was going to be like that. And then
We
all of a
freaking
sudden,
wrecked them.
What was it like?
It's like every drop, dude.
Like right off
was
the
Yeah,
bat?
like as soon as we got there, we just
It was like
started
15
dinging them
pounds.
up.
in like
how many different
30
spots did
minutes.
y'all have?
Holy cow.
How many different spots did y'all have that y'all catch them that did
we
shoot?
had 3 places like off of points and stuff. Literally like 1, 2, 3. Like
Like
they
close
were,
to
like
each other?
literally like 5-second run to the next one, 5-second run to the next one.
It was close, so you could hop them.
And
Were you
one of them was just busted. There wasn't nothing in it. We didn't catch them out of it day 1 or 2, and I guess the one they were loaded in had the lake record spotted bass.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
How many separate times did y'all hit that one spot?
Bunch.
We ran it a bunch. But
Yeah.
right before I caught that big one, I broke off one that was it was big. I don't know how big it was. I'm not saying it was another world record or lake record, but
World record?
Jesus,
Oh,
dude.
whoa, lake
The
record.
people on TikTok are cringing right
Yeah.
now.
No, but it broke the hook off, so it was probably another pretty big one.
Mag.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Were
I think
y'all
we doubled up twice.
yeah, we doubled up.
Catch any
cool.
largemouth off that spot?
Not off that one, but we had, I guess, one more spot that was pretty good.
Mhm.
And on day 2, Tucker caught a 3.6.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why I love that lake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
largemouth actually get out there.
Yeah, it was in like 40 foot.
That's
and like
crazy.
I think we had like 8 or 9 pounds, and that fish put us at 12 or 13.
Yeah,
And like as soon as we caught that fish, we were like, we're going to the natty.
Yeah.
Like, let's
yeah, it
go.
was sick.
Like I thought we had 9 pounds. It's like probably would have been enough, but like it was like 20th place. That 3-pounder really helped.
I thought we were gonna catch those largemouth at the end of the day, but like we had this one stretch of docks that we were catching them out of in practice. I think that was where I caught a 6-pounder in practice, and we were like, oh, we need to go hit those. We fished like 30 docks and got to the last one. There was like a school under it, like they were all 2.5 pounders, and I was thinking we were gonna get a big one, but they were all 2.5 pounders.
We probably fished other pockets before that. We probably fished 75 docks.
Yeah, I fished.
And the last dock we hit on our best stretch, you caught 2 and I caught 1 out from under it in like
Yeah.
5 seconds. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
But no big bites, unfortunately.
Those deep fish, were y'all seeing them on the graph in practice?
Yeah, we were seeing them on the graph, but I mean, you could see them like we're using Panoptics, but you could see them like just sitting down there, and then once you'd get one to commit, they'd all start coming up, and you could just drop, and catch them. So it was pretty cool watching them eat it.
Was
Were
it a
you
drop
able-
shot deal y'all were doing, or?
Mostly like the Mickey.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Champ minnow. Had to have been.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
I said it had to have been a champ minnow.
Oh, no, it wasn't a tournament.
But,
Unreal.
It was cool though. Like you could see, like how many fish are actually down there. Because like
It's
I feel
ridiculous.
like when you're graphing, no matter what it is, side scan, whatever, you're only seeing like
Lines,
30%, 40% of the fish that are actually down there.
Yeah.
And like you'd catch one, and it'd be like, oh, like they would just start coming off the bottom and be like, wow, there's like 6 or 7 of them.
they
Get
were
back down
definitely
there.
Sitting on the bottom hard. And then when you'd see one come up, we'd tell Brandon, all right, he's about to bite it, and he'd start recording it.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's crazy that you two both got top 10s and both caught, 2 of the 3 biggest fish in the tournament and
Doing polar opposites.
completely different things.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I mean, that's crazy. You caught a 6-pounder flipping, and you caught a 6-pounder in 40 feet of water. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We definitely tried doing what they did in practice, and it did not work.
Shoot, we tried to replicate it. I mean, we probably fished, I would say, maybe 15, 20 other spots like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they just were only in 2. They were only in 3 in practice, and in the tournament days, they were only in 2 of them.
Yeah, just had the right makeup, I think.
We also fished docks like you were talking about in practice. We could never get bit.
Yeah, we've seen some big ones, too.
Dude, there was some.
I've
Like,
heard
we
that
could
from
see 'em
so many people that they were
sitting
just
under the
looking at
docks.
big fish and
Yeah.
couldn't get them to
Yeah.
eat.
We were-
There was 5 and 6 pounders under them.
That's what burned us. Is we
just needed one of those to bite.
we were
Oh,
too
I know that
committed on
killed
that.
Jake.
Yeah, we were too committed on fish that we could see, and they were really big ones. But if they don't bite, they don't bite, and we should have learned that. And,
Did y'all try flipping a jig for them?
Yeah, we did. We tried a lot of things for 'em.
Really?
In practice, we fished like a couple of different docks, and we spent most of practice actually looking for that ditch deal, and we couldn't find it. Like we just I don't know if we were in the wrong areas or looking too shallow or what, but we couldn't find it. And we fished some docks in practice, and I caught like a 4 1/4 and like a 3 1/2 and like a couple 2 3/4, like good fish in practice on docks. But then we stumbled across an area that was just loaded with just really, really, really big largemouth that you could see, and we spent a lot of time in there on day one, like a lot of time before we had a limit, and we just spent most of our day in there. And we kind of ate ourselves alive in there and just couldn't. We dug ourselves too big a hole on day one, and on day two we knew we had to catch like 18 pounds to do anything, so we just were looking for that all day. So we didn't really get to fish. I mean, we messed ourselves up, and we learned a lot from that. Learned ourselves not to put ourselves out of it on day one, and that's what we did in this tournament. That's why we finished so poorly. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for us. We definitely, I don't know, it's hard to talk about. We did so poorly, but I mean, I'm very excited to see that 2 of our teams did so well, doing such different things than what we were doing. And I know with this YouTube series, you'll see we had us following, and Rob wasn't here, but Rob and Sam weren't here, but it was 4
It's
boats.
4 of the 5.
Yeah, it's the 4 of the 5 boats, and we're watching them. And like after the tournament, like Brandon and Trey, our camera guys, they were telling us like, you guys like in practice and in the tournament were like all 4 doing completely different things. And it's like you can't even think about that. Like you don't really think that there'd be 4 different ways that you catch fish, but that each of us did 4 different things. And then Jordan and Brady weren't they didn't get us fall around in practice, but they still ended up getting top 5. So it's crazy how good our team is, just top to bottom. Just anyone could catch
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
I feel like we're so diverse in like things that like techniques and stuff that we're good at. Like some of us are a lot better deep water fishermen than others, and some of us are like big grass guys, and
Gotta talk to the mic.
some of us are
Yeah, we
are
couldn't hear
good deep water fishermen. Some are good grass guys, ledge guys. I mean, I feel like we have a little bit of everything on our team.
What
Yeah.
are you good at? Besides
Swimming
netting,
jig.
netting fish.
Netting fish and catching big ones.
6'7".
I mean, I would say I'm best at fishing grass. I suck at deep water fishing.
I was gonna slap you
I'll
if
be
you
the
said
first.
swimming a jig. That's what I was anticipating.
He's a jig swimmer, dude.
That's what he meant by swimming, fishing
What do you
grass.
think he meant by fishing
I
grass?
guarantee you.
What I mean by fishing grass?
Completely different.
Fishing the grass every humanly
I think
possible
the,
way.
the only 3 ways I catch fish out of grass is swimming a jig, punching, or a swim bait. Like reeling it across the top.
Yeah, that's sweet though. And speaking of a little bit of grass fishing, you bring yourselves in Jordan's stomping grounds on Lay Lake. He's won a high school tournament there before.
I got
and-
my butt whooped this weekend.
Did you? I didn't know that, but
I did.
You can just
luckily-
hear the
It was
salt.
tough.
Luckily, Tucker and Logan decided they'd do another great finish, and they won this one.
Pulled out the dub.
And
I didn't have any
ano-
practice in my
Another 6-pounder. So, I mean, what is that? The past 3 tournaments, he got one over, I mean, an 8.
It was 3 days.
2 6s?
before.
Yeah,
Pretty damn good.
But first turn we had a 8-5 Tucker
Yeah.
caught,
I also caught a 6.
and then
That
5-13.
tournament, too.
8-5 and a 6, and then a 5-13.
We
Yeah.
put an 8
Tucker
in
finally let me
practice.
catch a big
No,
fish
Harris chain.
at Lay Lake.
Oh,
had
you
a
got it this time?
Had a 6.25. Got big fish too.
It was pretty cool because at Harris chain I broke my PB largemouth at 8 something, and then at Hartwell I broke my PB spot. So all I gotta do now is break my PB smallmouth somewhere.
Northern Swing, we're coming for you, baby.
I just
gonna
want to
find
take
a
a
way to
minute
go
to
to that
say
tournament.
how nice it is to see Logan catch the big fish for once.
Hey, we were all
It's
shocked.
always the small guy catching the big fish.
We were all shocked.
At the Harris chain, this dude jumped like 4 foot on the deck and just slammed. I was like, gee.
He was
Every
giggling
bedfish
like a
in that
small
canal was
child.
gone
I mean,
after
what
that
else
jump.
would you do?
We were in the same
Found it.
canal
Probably
that
the
was
same
being
thing.
caught. They scared our fish away.
So, you got one college derb in the books. What do you think? Takeaways.
I mean, I'm just looking for the next one. I just want to keep consistency. I told Logan, I was talking to him earlier in the season, like, we've been consistent. If we can keep being consistent, it's just a matter of time before you win one. We ended up winning this past weekend, so we just keep being consistent.
Y'all definitely got some good momentum going right now.
For
so.
sure. We got the mojo going for us, I would say.
Sure.
Got to keep that rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is key. Before Hartwell, me and Brady always joked that we were always consistently average because we were never like really bad or really good. We were always just like right out of the cut, like
In baseball, we always said consistently inconsistent.
essentially.
Sick,
It's the
bro.
same thing.
That's awesome.
Okay. Podcast is over.
That's it.
But no, I guess what's next?
I guess now all we have to do is
Smith Lake?
Smith Lake, and there's another episode coming out after Smith Lake. So
I'm ready to see episode 2. I mean, I
Episode
know
2.
episode 1 isn't out yet, but we've all
I'm ready
seen
to see
episode 1, and
I haven't.
episode 2 is going to
Yeah,
be
I haven't
sick.
seen
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, episode 2.
We're not in the cool kids club.
Episode 2 is gonna be really cool because we got you guys with the top 10, and you guys had the camera boat the most of the time, which is unfortunately not during the clutch time. But day 2 we got it. We got
We got
all
the
the
big
day
one
2, didn't
on
you?
day 2. Well, we had 2 calls in the afternoon. They ended up leaving us on day 2. They were like, "Let me get the mics. We're gonna go follow somebody else." And like as soon as they got out of the pocket, I caught like a 2.5 pounder
Yeah.
that cold, and I was like, "Dang it!"
As soon as they left,
Yeah.
like,
Everyone's
5
just gonna
minutes
have all
later.
these videos of Tucker setting, poking fish. I'm gonna be over here like, "Oh, here's the net. Here's the net." As soon as they leave, I catch one. But it is what
It's
it
gonna be
is.
funny
That
too.
6-7 would have been cool on video.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's gonna be funny in this video because at the end we had them the last day of practice, and like, how you guys feeling going into it? And me and Jake were like, oh yeah. Jake, I remember Jake goes, oh, 10 out of 10, but like, we are confident going in there, and I was like, okay, and then we ended up bombing, and then I'm sure Jordan would have said 0 out of 10 confidence going into it, and then they ended up getting a top 5. It's just crazy that
Tried to put the GoPro on them. They didn't want it, man.
they didn't want it.
Said it was bad luck.
I know that's what. Hopefully, this
I mean,
first
maybe it
episode
was.
series, episode 2 is gonna be kind of a learning curve because it's our first tournament with having the camera boat following us. But I think after that, they're gonna consistently get. I mean, this episode 2 is gonna be sweet. Don't get me wrong, but
We weren't
gonna-
as organized with the GoPros.
Yeah,
and all
so-
that on
so
people
going
who
into
weren't
this,
being
we're all-
followed.
we're gonna have GoPros. I think we're gonna have GoPros on as many boats as possible, and we're gonna be able to get footage. So if we don't have a camera boat on us, we're still gonna have the footage of the fish catches, and it's gonna end up being really sweet. So the reclamation series. Shout out Jordan McCaleb for coming up with the name. That was sweet.
He is the namer,
He is the
man.
That
namer.
was good.
That was
I
I
wasn't
gotta
deep
take
in
him
Amber.
fishing now.
Yeah, we're going to Pickwick, catch some big smallies.
At least
That's
you know.
right.
At least you know you got a good net man in the boat times 2.
I'm the most slept on net man in the southeast.
You got a senior net man and a junior.
But yeah, so Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Real quick, we didn't do this when Brady was here, so we'll throw it in there. Social media, what do y'all's got? What's your social media?
Instagram is jmccaleb10.
My Instagram is Tucker Smith Fishing. It's pretty easy.
Or Tuck the Smith.
Tucker Smith Fishing's the move.
The double Instagram.
So go check them out. Check Brady out.
And don't forget, we are giving away a whole Frogg Talk set for each segment of this podcast. 2 Frogg Talks Pilot Pro Series bibs and jacket. We're giving them away this weekend. So comment on the Facebook.
Subscribe.
The YouTube.
Like.
Go visit the merch store and get some swag too.
Yes, we also have Auburn Fishing merch store, and then Mitchell's telling us to comment too. So
comment on the video, like, and subscribe.
Yep.
And you can find the rules posted. Listen to us, and we'll tell you the rules. But then also on Instagram and Facebook, we'll post the rules. And I think we already posted the announcements for the giveaway. So you guys watch this video and give us a thumbs up if you like it. If you didn't like us, let us know what we can improve on. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate it,
Thanks for
guys.
having
War
us.
Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Damn Eagle.
Eagle.